going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast. But this is a pull-up version because we have this artist in studio that we spoke to her a couple months ago, virtually. But now she's in my city, my town, my country, in my studio. Sit down and talk. You know what we have in the building today? We have Twiggy in the building today. What's going on, my sister?
Toronto. But they're in another place.
Yeah.
With Muscle himself. Hey, Muscle.
Right here.
What you do?
I'm great. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Mm-hmm. It's cold, but I'm fine.
It's, to tell you the truth, it's only been cold today.
Yeah.
But the other days, it was almost
like summer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you've been here many times touring and everything, you know when it's ready to get cold, it's ready to get cold. So we're okay right now.
No, we're good.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Toronto.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I was so excited. I couldn't even sleep last night.
Right here. And I'm so happy that you're here too. And what are you even doing in Toronto of all places right now?
Well, you know, Twiggy will always be Twiggy. Mm-hmm. Music, you know, dub plate, studio work, you know, Muscle.
Yeah.
And plus I have my mother and my sisters and nieces and nephews and stuff here. So you know, so I have to run in on the family more time and thing, you know that. Yeah.
So it's pleasure and business. So it's pleasurable business.
Oh, you know, so.
Hey, I'm just guessing. Pleasurable business, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And do you remember how many times you've been to Toronto?
So many times. I stopped counting, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been coming to Toronto since I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm still in my 20s.
That's what I was... You took the words... So I was going to say about the last 2 or 3 years now you've been coming?
Maybe more, yeah, I'm still in my 20s, so yeah. I've stopped counting, though.
Yeah. Would you say you stopped counting after probably 4 times, 5 times, 10 times?
No, maybe after 10 times.
That's so crazy. But before we even get too far into this conversation, because I know we had a real great deep conversation last time we spoke, but I want to give the people a recap so then they could probably even go back and go watch the other podcast that we did together, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So then we just want to talk about who Twiggy is quickly, what she's done, what camp she's been around and stuff like that. So then give them a little snippet of who Twiggy is.
Okay, so in a nutshell, Twiggy started out in 1989. I was recruited by Tinga Stewart, who was introduced to me by my sister. And but Tinga had me doing background vocals for his first, like a big international track that he was doing. So that was the audition I had to do to sing background vocals. I never know if I can sing background vocals or not. He just took me to Penthouse. That was my first time at Penthouse. And just fling me around at the back. You know, well, my sister was around there with me, but then she couldn't deal with it. So she said, you know what, I don't need this, you know. And she left me around there. So when I ended up doing the song, Tinga was so excited. He ran with it to like the likes of Boris Gardner, Roddy Thomas, Derek Harriott, you know, Don Cullingham, all of those crooners, you know, and they took me under their wings, and, you know, I did a lot of work with them, you know, doing shows, studio work, commercials. Some of the little Jamaican commercials that some of them even played. I think even one right now is still playing on the radio in Jamaica.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that one is me and Nadine Sutherland did that one. But we'll sing that for you later. But anyway, after that, I was introduced to Toots from Toots Hibbert. I was very young at the time, but Toots just automatically took me on the road with him, and I started touring. And in tour with Toots, I got to see what the world was like, like very quickly. And then in the middle of that, the Japanese came to Jamaica, And they were working with a chosen few, and I was one of them. I don't know how they did their picks or whatever, but I was one of them that they chose to work with. So I ended up having to go to Japan and all these places, like over and over, and do works, and having hit songs in Japan and do yeah. And after that, Darwin Jermaine met me while I was in Japan, and he asked me to become a part of Penthouse crew. And there we have it. After that, everything just blew up even more. And the Twigster became Twiggy.
Yeah.
And that's how it all fell into place after that.
That's in a nutshell because of the amount of things you did. You even stopped before you even got over to Shocking Vibes.
Oh, Lord. But Patrick, if you're watching this, don't kill me. Yes, after Penthouse, I went over to Shocking Vibes. I was signed to Shocking Vibes, and I was with them for a while too, and working, with Beanie and the crew. So and there are so many other things in between the little gaps them where, because I'm trying to do a quick summary, I have to just be skipping. But it's so many different things about Twiggy that only people like Muscle and Tisha and all the people I can pull out of me,
Well, you know what? I'm happy to actually speak to somebody like you that's done a lot of work, even though people might not know the name right away, but the body of work that you've done and your contribution to this business called Reggae business is immense. You understand? And that's why I like to have these type of conversations to really see the real key players that move things around. We'd hear a final song, and it's Beanie Man at the forefront you're hearing, but then there's 7, 8 other voices to make Beanie Man sound like one, and you're definitely one of those voices here also.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. What I wanted to, with this conversation, I wanted to more go along the lines of memories, because we went into more facts before. So then now I want to go into your brain and see the world, how you've seen it from back then to right now. So you said Tinga Stewart was really your entrance into the music business. Did you, besides doing the background vocals for the song, did you do any more work with Tinga Stewart at that time there?
Actually, no. Tinga just took me to, as I said, all the crooners, and just left me there. He used to check in, because even after Boris Gardner and all these people, he introduced me to like Charlie Chaplin, Sugar Minot, Tristan Palmer, all these people, Little John, all these people. So I was well protected in the industry, and I was well trained in a sense. So that is why I guess by the time I went to Penthouse, I couldn't angle anything because, I was around the DJ, them hardcore, and I was around the singers. So, Tinga was there in the background, but we never worked together.
Did you ever have any memorable conversations with Tinga Stewart back then where he actually told you something, you seen him do something, some specific memory about Tinga Stewart back then?
I just remember Tinga, when he just started out taking me to the studio and stuff, Tinga used to come for me at my house on him little bike. I'm afraid of bike. But the thing is, when Tinga came to the house, he had to meet my whole entire family, because my parents and they weren't into this music industry thing, and I wasn't supposed to be going to no studio and being around all these men and stuff. So apart from Tinga, my eldest sister, she had to be my chaperone everywhere I went. So if we're not on Tinga bike, if it's 3 of us, we're not on Tinga bike. We have to drive on our way. But Tinga was always so protective, of me. So that's what I remember mostly about Tinga. And he was very he was very encouraging. And he taught me a lot about the music too, not in so many words, but he taught me a little trick or two to the trade,
So he was really the first star at that time because he was already a Rasta at that time there. So then listen, your parents aren't really into the music business. This Rasta big man is coming for you at the house to make my daughter come do what?
Me fi tell you. Because for one, I remember my parents and other parents who weren't into that type of thing, them used to just say Rasta as smoke weed, take drugs, and walk barefoot or something like that, So when I just started out, nobody couldn't tell my mother said me not going to start smoke weed. Because my father was more chill, he was an old soldier, but he was more chill. He used to just watch and just, just keep an eye out. But my mother now, she was like the mother hen, She was like so overprotective of me, and I'm the baby. So, it's like her baby. Because even now coming out to you, it's like, she was like, okay, make sure. And this, and you know where you're going, and blah blah blah. She's still like that with me. So.
It would never, that maternal instinct never leaves her. You're always the baby. You could be 1 or you could be 100. You're always going to be the baby in her eyes.
Oh yeah, always the baby. So yeah, it wasn't fun for them to see me going. Oh, but as I said, Tinga had to come and meet with them and talk to them, and they realized I think I was a decent guy and stuff. And, Tinga, had a good heart and all that. So they trusted me with him.
Good there. You said you linked with Charlie Chaplin and Sugar Mine also. Who did you do more work with, Charlie Chaplin or Sugar Mine, or was it just an introduction?
I was around them a lot. I can't say I did a lot of work with them. I did probably mostly like background vocals for them, but I was always around them. I remember I worked with Tristan Palmer more than how I worked with Charlie or Sugar, but it was always at the studio, the CM studio and stuff, and quite a few more people. But, it's like I remember Tristan more than anybody else and Charlie. They always used to say to me, because they were so overprotective of me, like how some girls in the music industry have some sob stories and say how they were, I never had that.
That wasn't an issue.
Everywhere I went to, all the males around me were so protective of me. So Charlie and Tristan especially used to say to me, if even a fly past you too hard, we are going to kill them. And they meant it, Even now, if I talk to Tristan, he sounds the same way, He's like, you're my sister, we hurt people for you. It's like, okay, yeah. So, yeah, but I would say I did a lot of work with them. I was just around them a lot and just learned the ropes from them too.
And remember, this is again, Tinga Stewart, Rastaman, Sugar Minot, Rastaman, Tristan Palmer, Rastaman, Charlie Chaplin, Rastaman. So at this time here, were you ever influenced to become a Rasta at that time there yourself, or you were just soaking in the music scene altogether?
No, I am never a follower. I have, even from when I was a child, I never followed anyone. I always set the trend. As simple as it might be, I'm always a trendsetter. And so coming into the music business and seeing all the Rastas and stuff never fazed me, I didn't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing people smoke and stuff, I've never smoked in all my life.
Okay.
Never even tried. Never smoked even a cigarette. Yeah. People used to fold up the leaf and the paper. Never even tried that.
Yeah.
Never. I was never interested. I was never interested in drinking or drugs or even partying. It was just about the music. So even though people see me in the industry and they're like, she's so laid back, But that's just me. When I go for sing,
Yeah.
I'm going to blow you away. But when I'm not singing and stuff, I'm just chill.
Just chilling. That's cool there. So then now you're hanging out with all the great entertainers at this time here. So then now when you met like Toots now, where was he in his career? Was he that monster artist already? Was he just on the come up? Where was he as an artist at that time?
He was already a monster artist, but he was never given the flowers in Jamaica, at a time. He was huge abroad, and especially with Caucasians. Mm-hmm. He was, I think when I started touring with him, he was signed, I think, with Island Record or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, the first time I went into a tour bus, it was with Toots. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing like, whoa, this bus that looked like a house. I never knew this existed,
Yeah.
So Toots was always huge. And, I went to places. I never started touring Europe with Toots at that time as yet. But, I went to every state in America and Canada. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been to Canada several times with Toots, yeah. And, with Toots, and I mean, it has always been like massive. And as I say, the people that follow Toots is not the typical Jamaican audience. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he was massive at the time.
And you learned that right away because I guess when you had met him in Jamaica, as you said, he wasn't really getting, he was a big man at that time there, but he wasn't really getting his flowers at that time there. Like, so I guess it's like when you really left the first time you left with him, you realize like, whoa, this is a man right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, the people that wanted to tour with him, that wanted him to come on their tours. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was mind-blowing, because we have been on tour with the Rolling Stones.
What?
Dave Matthews Band. Yeah, so many of those like pop and rock and country stars, they would kill just a tour with us. And we've been with Rolling Stones on several Rolling Stones tour. Well, I've been on maybe about 3 Rolling Stones tour with him, and he has done more than that. And I've been on like 2 Dave Matthews tour with him, and it's been, so I mean, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. But Jamaican people didn't know that.
What was it like? Okay, let's go Rolling Stones. What was it like now? Again, you're fresh in the music business at this time here. You're not really used to this craziness. So what was this now like touring with Toots and the Rolling Stones? What was it like on the road at that time there?
Okay, when I just started off fresh, I didn't do the Rolling Stones as yet, but we did other people. But, I was young and I never really followed the music like that, country music and rock music and stuff. So it was when I was a little bit more, grounded and older that we started touring with the Rolling Stones. Well, that when I went on tour with them on Rolling Stones. And it was crazy. Because, I mean, the first tour, I remember the Rolling Stones having about, we had about 10 tour buses. And about 5 trailers. 5 trailers with chefs, nurses, everything, a whole setup everywhere they go. Mm-hmm. They for the venues, they do their own catering. So they just pitch a tent. They set up like it's like a classy restaurant, and their chefs cook all the food, and you eat until dessert, everything possible. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, you go on their buses and they have silk sheets in their bunk, okay? Hey, look, when you go back to your bunk, it's like a cotton sheet. You're like, No, I feel poor, man.
Me not go out with nothing yet.
Not going I still cheat. And even their bathrooms were set up differently, you know. It's like, if I am not lying, I think their bathroom was set up where they could shower. Our bathroom, you can't shower. You know, you can use the toilets and stuff. But so it was crazy. And I mean, there is one. I don't remember his name. Not Ron. Mm-hmm. The other one with always had the bandanas on. Every time he saw me, the first thing he would say is, "Slim thing, rhythm." So that's what he knew me as. And Ron was really cool too, you know. I mean, we see Ron at shows and Ron would come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to take a picture with this one." And I mean, I'm like, "What, me?" You know. So I mean, it was so cool. And then their audience was like, you know, kind of new to us. So, you know, you don't know what to expect. But when we go out there, oh, man, they would eat Toots up, you know.
What would you say might have been the most difficult thing about touring with a band like Rolling Stones?
Just living up to the whole game, because their thing is like huge, and they perform to like 70,000 a night stadium, you know. So the difficult part is like, you want to go out there, and even though I'm not the main artist, we want to make sure that everybody in the band is hitting it hard. So when we come off, we leave an impression.
Yeah.
We leave people wanting more, you know? So I think for me, I don't think that was difficult for Toots, because Toots is just a performer. But for me, it used to make me nervous because we're like, yo, we're gonna have to do this, you know? We're gonna have to go hard or go home. So that was basically it. There was nothing else. And with Dave Matthews was a different kettle of fish. Dave Matthews would come every night, because Dave Matthews said when they were a small band in college, they opened for Toots and the Maytals.
Okay, so that's crazy. So they opened for him. Now you guys are on the tour with them.
And he never forgot that. And I guess he told himself whenever he's going out, he's making sure he's carrying Toots with him at some point. So for Dave, when we were on stage, every night, remember Dave don't perform as yet. Every night Dave stands side stage and watch the whole entire show. And then as soon as we're done, he comes and hold our hands. Well, the girls, and you know, walk us off the stage and stuff. And he was so cool. He was just like, he was even like a star. He was just so cool, you know. And that was not because he had many bosses too, and the same setup like Rolling Stones, and you know, their thing is like massive, you know. So a lot of these people, I think Faith Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, all of these country and western stars and rock stars, and so many of them is like crazy.
What was that like the first time you had to go in on a stage and see 70,000 people looking back at you on that stage? What was that feeling like?
And that mentally say that was the most difficult part, because you see, to come out on their stage, you know, it's not like a small stage, you know. So you have a little walk to get out there. When you're walking in your head, you say, please don't make me trip. Don't make me trip. And then you have to look cool, you know. You have to look like you're so cool and like, oh, this don't faze me. You
70,000, we do this every night.
This is like 7 people. So you're like, you know, walking, and you try to look cute too, you know. So, you know, me, you know, because, you know, I have the long legs and I'm usually like boots and, you know, tight pants, and, you know, you're trying to do the model walk and stuff, but in your head you said, don't trip. Don't trip. and then you have all the guys at the front like screaming, and then you're like waving like the queen, and I'm like, yeah, and you're acting like, oh, okay, all right. And then you see yourself on a big screen behind you, and crazy.
I don't know how my heart would manage that, because I'm trying to compute all of this at the same time, plus stay in character, because I got to come to sing. I got a job to do. So I don't know how I would be able to compute all of what's going on at that time there and still stay in character to do a job.
Well, as you say, you know, we have to be professional. So for me, yeah, it's like really like, wow, but you know what you came to do, you know? So as soon as you go out there, as I say, you just want to hit it and mash up the place. When you're done, the crowd's supposed to roar and you come off feeling high, like you just smoke a spliff, you know?
Yeah.
You come off and you feel, you're like, yeah, ready for it, go back up there again and take, you know? And then you like, well, me, nobody else does this, but when I'm done, I just go eat down the place.
Yeah. When you say your first, because remember, you're putting in that intense amount of work. You need to calm down. You need to eat. You need to recalibrate.
Because you try not to eat before you go up there. Sometimes you end up eating before if dinner time is, way before you go on stage. But for the most part, I just want to, even doing studio work, I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but after I'm finished with studio work, whether it's harmonies or voicing, especially voicing a song, every time I'm hungry so till
It takes a lot out of you.
Eat. It's like, get me to a restaurant right now. Get me some food.
What's your favorite type of food?
Boy, I love everything, Well, I'm not adventurous, so I stick with what I really know. But outside of Jamaican food, I love Thai food.
Okay.
Thai food. I love spicy food. Anything with hotter pepper. And I if it's a good Chinese food, I'll eat it, and I love Italian, and sometimes I do some Indian, but not a lot of Indian, but the Italian and stuff or whatever. But apart from that, with Jamaican food, love everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I just love food. Don't look at how I look.
A foodie.
Oh my goodness. Even my sister, she said the other day, we're making sure we give you all of this good food, so you can't hurry up and come back. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how you see me.
Foodie. You love it. Doing this stuff with Toots and stuff, touring, tell me 3 shows in your mind that you'll never, ever forget. 2 amazing ones and 1 that did not go according to plan at all.
Oh, God. Okay. 3 amazing shows. That's hard because Toots always did amazing shows.
But something that it just sticks out in your mind. I don't know why, what had happened, what was going on. Something that these 2 shows were amazing, and this last one here, if I could erase this memory, I'll just erase it because I just don't like to deal with it.
The last one, let me talk about that one first because I have to really think, on the first 2. The last one is, Toots is like, what would you say now? A mad scientist, musically. And he's very meticulous. And him, just a little tad eccentric. So sometimes Toots will hear things that nobody else is hearing. So he will hear something and then probably tell you right there on stage that you're doing something wrong. That's the kind of show that you just want to erase. Because when you're not doing anything wrong, and then he'll tell you you're doing something wrong, and then people out there are looking at you like, you're doing something wrong, fix the thing, They're not saying it, but they're looking at you like, don't spoil anything, And you're like, what am I doing wrong? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing everything I always do. Shows like those.
So there was a couple of those here that, and this is something where I guess this is something he's saying on the mic while this is going on, or this is something that he's saying and only you could hear this conversation.
Oh, he's right on the mic.
Yeah.
I think he's eccentric. Apart from that, no. Shows, oh my gosh, so many shows.
Yeah. Whether the country it was, whether the venue, whether who else was there, whether the size of the crowd, how you did, something, these 2 other ones just stick out in your memory forever. When you write your book, you're going to have to put these 2 shows in your book.
Oh, man. I know I know, as I said, Rolling Stones, and Dave Matthews, and there's a female. Oh my gosh, if I love her so much, and she's a big country star, but I'm not remembering her name right now. Those shows where, as I say, you go out there and you just kick butt,
Yeah.
and when you come off, you feel high, and at the same time you feel a little overwhelmed, in a good way, because you're on stage and you watch him perform, and you see the people eating out of his hands, and you feel like you want to cry. Like, oh my goodness, it's like, but apart from that, there have been shows that he has done on his own, like over in Europe and stuff, and like Rotterdam, that
Yes.
festival and stuff. I remember doing it several times with him, and the last one I did with him was in like 2012 or 2011 or something like that. And he had Shaggy and everybody that was there just on stage, like in awe of him, And then I just feel like a proud daughter, because he treated me like his daughter. So, it's like I just felt like, oh my gosh, look at him, He's just so awesome. It's like I would have to sit back and really go through, because there have been so many, so hard.
I got one for you. What was your last conversation with Toots like?
My last conversation with Toots was in Jamaica. And because every time I'm in Jamaica or Toots is in Jamaica, he always call me Twig. I have to see you, Yes, Naya. Okay, come and meet me. And he always has a special hotel that he spends all his money. That hotel, them love him when them see him, because everybody he takes there for dinner or lunch or whatever, Terra Nova, and then some other new hotels that came on. And then the last time he said to me, you have any money? I'm gonna say, yes, Naya, I have money. He said, like, how much money? And when me tell him, he said, Twig, that is no money. Him said, come with me to the car, and he just takes out a coil of money and just say, here, and I'm like, but Naya, he says, Twig, you need money to spend. Is this in Jamaica? And I'm like, yeah, but and that was the last time I spoke with him.
Was there, and then he had died shortly after that? Or it's just you guys just didn't really get to connect because he's doing whatever.
Right.
Doing
Well,
whatever.
it wasn't shortly, but not too long after that. But, as you say, we didn't get to connect because by that time, I'd kind of like eased off the road because I wanted to focus on Twiggy. Because when I was out on the road with Toots, I was not Twiggy. And I was not treated like Twiggy. I was a metal. So Twiggy never existed on the road, except for when Toots' son, Hopeton, Toots' son would walk with his portable studio, and we would record songs, in the hotel room, all while him a cook in the hotel room, everything going, and stuff. And there's a song I recorded for him that says, on the Road Dog label. So and it was in a hotel. I remember sitting in my room and I write the song quick, and then him say, come before showtime, come voice it before showtime, and we're gonna room this song that says, Lord, you know I'm needing you now. Lord, you know I'm needing you now. Lord, you know I need you now to carry on my way. Hey, hey, hey. Under him, I go, stop, stop, stop. Stand up, stop. That.
Crazy, just like that. it's, again, these conversations, that's why I like to go deep into your memory and see things the way you do. Because we see you on stage singing and all that. But remember, there's time before you got to the stage, 1 second before you got to the stage, and what happened 1 second after you left the stage. Those are the things that a lot of people aren't really privy to. And that's why we have these conversations. Tell us what was going on back there type of thing. You know what I mean? So then that's a Toots chapter of your life now. I want to go to your Japan life now. Because you said you're not really adventurous when it comes to food. How was it were you living in Japan for a while? Or you were back and forth?
Yes, back and forth.
How long would you stay when you're staying in Japan? Would you actually be there stationed at any one time?
I would think maybe 2 to 3 weeks at a time.
Okay, so this wasn't months at a time. You weren't gone for like 2-3 months at a time. Yeah. Now you're in Japan. This is totally different. What was the food situation like when you were there now?
I remember the first time going into Japan. Hungry like 10 dog. Because we just couldn't figure out the food thing, It's like, it was hard getting all this food thing going. But then as soon as we figure out, okay, you can buy fried rice, you can buy Chinese food in Japan, Japanese Chinese food and stuff. That's all I ate when I was there after that.
That's why you really like the Chinese food.
No, I wouldn't say that. I love Chinese food from when I was a little girl because my mother was a great Chinese chef. So, she used to cook like the Jamaican Chinese food, the real authentic Jamaican Chinese food. So I love Chinese food from then. But, everywhere you travel, people will try different stuff. Just make sure say rice, fried chicken, Chinese food and Thai food up the road.
The basics and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Or
Italian, yeah.
And you're good. Because remember, you said when you're with Toots, you were more the Maytals at this time. But Japan now, this is where you're now, Twiggy.
Japan, I was Twiggy before Penthouse Twiggy. I was just a little Twiggy that was very popular over on that side. I wasn't even that popular in Jamaica as yet. I was doing stuff in Jamaica, and they were playing on the radio and stuff, but, how many people are paying attention, we don't know. But Japan, I was like a superstar there before even Penthouse. So, it was, we had to go there. As I say, it was a group of us that they were working with. Tristan Palmer was one of them, too.
Oh, he was out there with you guys, too.
Yeah, and they were doing, like, big promotions and stuff with us. So we had to fly to Japan every minute, and it was the group of people, Tinga Records, that used to do Japan Splash, that massive festival. They were the ones that used to take us out there. So, you go there and you have to go to the big, like, the record companies, but they have these, like, oh my goodness, these big record stores or places where you have to go and do promos. When you look, you see life-size pictures of yourself and stuff, and big star thing, and, big rehearsal, and it was crazy because the Japanese, they do things so different. And they treat you like the star that you are. So you don't even carry a bag. Yeah. As soon as you come off that plane, land in Japan, see your bag until you reach your hotel. Your bag is sitting at your door waiting for you. Yeah. And then when you get up in the mornings to leave, they say just put your bag at the door. When you come out, your bag gone again. See till you reach the next hotel and the next door. And they were and they move fast and on time and everything.
Very disciplined.
Yes. So,
it's a disciplined culture.
Yes. Oh, yes. So Japan has always been one of my favorite places to and stuff. And it was just something else because even after, the whole thing with Takian, I work with all the artists now. Takian merged with Sony Japan. And they started doing some work with me also. I don't know if they were doing work with anybody else, but I know they were doing work with me. And that was another ballgame because with Naki, Naki was like a massive star
Huge.
in Japan. And I was working with Naki, and, we had a massive number one song called Something Special there. So, and, it's in Japan is like, every time I think about Japan, I just want to relive it.
It was that. So even Japan now, when do you realize that, okay, you're becoming this huge star out there? Was it when you first got there, you guys had to work a bit? When did it really start to take off in Japan?
I guess we were going there, we were doing work with Naki, and it slowly got bigger and bigger. And after a while when they started like recording songs with us in like Japanese and stuff, and they said to me after a while, the Japanese people keep on requesting that you sing in Japanese. And I'm like, why? And they say, because you sound like a Japanese when you sing. You sound authentic. So that's when you realize that, people are listening to you. You started getting fan letters and stuff, and the whole works, and then Japanese guys want to marry you and all of that.
And it's just, again, this is now, again, where you went from in the shadows a bit as the background singer to now you as the front person. You know what I mean? As the person that people are paying their dollars to come see. You're the headliner now. You know what I mean? What was that? What did that feel like now?
It was surreal. It was surreal, and so euphoric, But for me personally, a lot of things just, even though I felt that way, it never changed me, and I never got hype. I was always just so chill and just like, okay, next, whatever. So even though, things felt good like that, it was just another day for me also.
Out there like that. What would you, so then now, again, experiences and memories, what would you say were two of your most memorable, impactful shows, and one show or one situation where I could leave this alone? I didn't like this. This didn't make me feel good at all.
Well, there was no show in Japan that ever made me feel good. Every show in Japan felt great. Every single show in Japan felt great. So there's none that I can think of. And there is one that when I started like performing that hit song, and the first time I performed for over 100,000 people, it was in Japan. I think I have a video for it, yeah?
You know what? Listen, the words you just said to me was the first time I performed in front of 100,000. That means there's either 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 more times. That means you've done that several times.
I wouldn't say 10, but...
You would say more than once?
Yeah, but it's more than once. Oh, yeah. Because in Japan, the crowds were like huge. The crowds are like huge. And the other times that I perform like for major crowds, Europe, but Europe is always a bunch of artists. So, a lot of people come to see their different artists. But, when it's just this like a set people, and these amount of people come, it's like crazy, that's when it's crazy. But Africa was the next place that I experienced. I think the first 2 shows that we did when we went to Africa was like over 50,000 people. So, yeah. So it's like, that's when you look out there, and when they're calling your name to introduce you on the stage, you feel like you want to do it up yourself.
So when you look behind the curtain, it's like, me? This is what's going on. Was there ever a time where anybody, because remember, Japan and Jamaica are 2 complete worlds apart. Was there ever a time anybody from Jamaica, one of your artist friends ever, came over and really seen what you were doing in Japan and said, holy smokes, they did not realize it was this crazy?
Not really. As I said, it was just a set group of us. So just us knew what was going on with us, But I guess when Jermaine met me in Japan, I guess he was impressed with what he saw to actually approach me to join Penthouse. So I figure, other people probably saw that too, but I've never heard anybody really talk about it.
And what was even that feeling like now going from this massive singer in Japan to now joining a big group like Penthouse? Did you think you were still going to be a standalone artist? Now you're going to go back to the background vocals. What did you think that situation was going to be like going to Penthouse now?
Okay, you used to hear about Penthouse. So it's like Penthouse was like one of these places that not anybody can get into, and you have to be a big artist to be a Penthouse. So when Jermaine actually approached me, I was like, Penthouse? Like, really?
Yeah.
Penthouse wants me to come and be a part of their thing, because even though you're doing big works in Japan, because you weren't really getting much attention in Jamaican stuff, it's like, I just say you were doing good, but it would feel like you're just there in a sense,
Got you.
So with Penthouse now, you actually saw it as this bigger door opening now, where you're gonna be out there now. People are gonna really know who Twiggy is, not only in Japan but all over the world. So it was something that I anticipated. I was like, okay, I think if I play my cards right, I could really make it here. So yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, because at this time here, this was already Paris, Marcia, Buju Banton, and all of them were there at this time here?
Yes.
Who else was there at that time?
You had Terry Ganzi. You had a lot of people pass through, and really work with Penthouse a lot. Like you had Nana McLean. You had Carl Gonzalez. You had Juliet from over here in Canada, yeah. And you had Garnet. I think you used to Richie Stevens, Tony Rebel was Penthouse. You know what? Everybody.
Cutty Ranks would have probably been there.
Cutty Ranks, yeah. So everybody.
Patchy Scratchy.
Yeah, Patchy Scratchy. So it was like crazy, because this is where you're seeing like all the big artists them now, and you're actually, in the mix. So I'm a big artist too.
Straight goods, you know what I mean? Straight goods. Do you remember the first project or projects you started working on when you got there?
I remember going in, and the first song I recorded for Penthouse was because the time cool. I'm a little bit hoarse, but I'll try sing it for Honey Henny Hey. It's a song that says there's no danger in loving somebody too much, and it's sad when you know it's your heart you can trust. There's no reason why people don't say who they are. Baby, sometimes love just ain't enough. Stop. Do. Yeah, so apart from doing like maybe some little background vocals in studio for the artists and stuff, that was the first one I recorded.
That was the first one. And how did it feel now that you came in, signed, you're part of the crew, you're doing the work, but now that you actually got to record this song here, how did that make you feel now?
I feel like big star because, that was like Penthouse, So it's like the first time Jermaine said, okay, you're gonna, and he chose that song.
Yeah.
So, the first time he says, okay, I want, and then while I was recording, there was this radio broadcaster, I should say, that was massive in New York, and he was right there in the studio watching me when I was recording and stuff. And, his reaction was like awesome and stuff. So it's like, yo, this feels good. Like I feel like I'm getting there. Mm-hmm. So it felt great.
That was a good one there. And what would be some of the songs that you worked on that 99.9% people will have no idea you worked on these songs there?
You mean as a background vocalist?
On Penthouse, yeah. At Penthouse.
Every single song at Penthouse. There's a song with Buju that Marcia and I did the background vocals. Nobody would imagine. Marcia Griffiths and I it was on, oh my gosh, was it Till Shiloh? A song that says, stay just a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And Buju said, me Allah. Yeah. So that was me and Marcia right there. I did a lot of background vocals on Barry's songs, differently from out of Penthouse.
Over at Harmony House.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Even before Harmony House came into play, when Barry's used to voice at Music Works and them places and stuff. But everybody, I don't remember doing any harmony for Tony Rebel or Cutty Ranks. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, all of Buju's songs. And except some Brian and Tony Cole. Mm-hmm. But every other one, Twiggy, and sometimes Twiggy alone, sometimes Twiggy with the other girls. But Twiggy is the one that's calling the shots. And all Garnet songs, in Penthouse and at Bobby Digital and everywhere. And
because I know last time we spoke, you told me you were on Islands. I know it was the one on the General. Everyone's gonna love to Lionheart.
Oh, Splashing Dashing.
Splashing Dashing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it was not only just that song; it was a few other songs.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. Even the ones that Bobby Digital and stuff and whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, most of them, because he didn't want to do anything without me.
Did you guys have good conversations or good links outside the studio, or a lot of times when you're doing harmonies, he's not even there?
No, he was always there. Mm-hmm. He was always there, and at one point he started taking me on the road with him, just like Barry Stu. Me touring everybody, because what I notice with people, when I do their background vocals, they all want me to tour with them.
Because that's the vibe of the record. They want to do it live also for the people.
Yeah, but what people don't understand is, when I do their harmonies, I do like three to six voices, okay? So when they take me on tour with them, what they expect me to do, throw my voice, throw a harmony voice over there, son, throw an harmony voice over here, so I make it just blend. I'm just one person. Yeah. So if they get other people to do it and imitate it will sound decent enough. But there is a song that nobody knows with Buju for Penthouse. It's actually I think you would call it a montage. Mm-hmm. And he's singing in Hebrew. Yeah? And I was sitting in the studio, me and Jeremy and stuff one day, and Buju come in, Swigsy, I have something more you sing, partner. And it's like, okay, what is it? Buju come with him like a dry voice, I sing this something. Mrs. So with the recording there, with the music and stuff there. I said, Swigsy, this is it. I mean, one like a dry voice. Oh, Israel, Israel, something like that. I'm like, wait, expect for that, Buju? Mm-hmm. I'm so Swigsy, you're the only one we can fix this song and make it what I want to hear. I mean, if did cost him like a bit, I said, why no, he's scared how things him come give me. And I'm so because you're the only one that can do it. So mm-hmm. I had to go into my little zone. Mm-hmm. And because it's in Hebrew, it was like a prayer.
Yeah.
I had to put myself into the place when we went to Israel. And we had visited the place where they said it holds 5 different denominations, and that's where they say Jesus Christ was buried.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we went and we saw the tomb and blah, 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 and the whole works, and we were walking through, we passed the 5 churches, one after the other, door open, no door, no door. And all these churches, none was confused in the other. Everybody was just worshiping in their own way, and it was like one. Everything was like one, but they were different denominations. That was like mind-blowing, you know? And how they were singing, they just grabbed me. So when I heard Buju sing, I went to that place, and I used that as my muse to sing around it. And when it came out, up to this day, nobody can sing it. Nobody can sing it. Even when Buju's background vocalists were and still are on stage, they have to stand at attention and they have to play my voice.
What?
Me all the Europe with Toots them, and we there backstage, and Buju go on stage, and the musicians from Toots, they hear it out there, and they all run out like, oh my gosh, sound like African choirs on stage with Buju. Yeah. They all run out, and I'm like, it's me. You heard me, and they're like, yeah, you wish. I'm like, no, yeah, for real, it's me. And they're like, Twiggy, stop the lights. I'm going to hear the people, and not. Yeah. And when they go out there, they realize the girls are just standing. And I remember on YouTube, when Buju, someone posted Buju in Europe just gonna start a song called Destiny. And rain was kind of falling, so it was so mystical, you know. And the person was introducing him, but they were talking in their like language, you know. I don't know if it's German or whatever it is, but he was chanting, and they were playing that montage. The Lenky was playing that montage, and Buju was standing backstage just singing along with it. Oh my gosh. If you ever find that, it will give you chills. And I remember seeing someone post it on social media, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. And all the Buju background vocalists, them at the time, they said, we were always wondering who did this. They said, we always wondered who did this. Nobody can sing it back.
Because I guess the place where you had to go into your soul to find the way to sing this song, I guess nobody else could really go into that depth to sing back this song.
I don't even think I could sing it back either. If I was supposed to tell people how to sing it, I don't even think I could.
The spirit was the right spirit.
It came from a different place. You know, so that's one of the things I say nobody would imagine. Yeah.
You said they're standing up and they have to play the recording.
Yeah. Not me.
Yeah.
The other girls that were touring with him at the time. Because sometimes when I'm on the road with Toots, you know, other people are out there and they had to just stand at attention. Anytime you get a chance, you go look up Buju Banton Destiny, one of them European festivals, and you'll hear it. Just so and the rain was drizzling and stuff. And all.
It was just a perfect storm to bring up that energy, that spirit, that vibe, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy. Penthouse now, you're there with Buju, Cutty, Marsha, Beres Hammond, Wayne Wonder, Terry Gansey, Patchy Scratchy, Tony Rebel, Garnet Silk, everybody. What was it like a day now dealing with all of those personalities in one place? I know, okay, yeah, we're going to come out and sing these songs, but what was it really like to get these artistic minds to sit down and do something? What was that like?
They were all eccentric in their own ways and difficult in their own ways, but when they came to work, they came to work. They really, really came to work. So it wasn't hard to get them to the work. They just flowed. You know, I had to keep up with them.
Yeah.
So for me, it was pretty easy just watching them. I was always in awe. They were also professional, and them just move fast, and them just impulsive, and whatever talent. It was crazy.
You have to just get in where you fit in. Okay, it's going, jump in, and whatever comes of it type of thing. Yeah. Because you seem to really have your chemistry when it comes to Penthouse seems to be, Buju seems to be that chemistry that you guys have. Why do you think you guys have that type of chemistry, energy, and sight together?
I have no idea. It's just the music, because I just love good music. And anything that, I always say, if a guy wants to turn me on, just play some good music, or sing some good music, or something, and you got me, you know? Well, not really, because none of the musicians, them still can't get me. But, you know, just talking on top of my head. But it was just because Buju was just so good at what he did, and he just loved working with me. We had a dynamic that nobody else had with Buju. We had, Iman Wayne had that too. Iman Wayne, and then eventually Iman Beres had that. So, you know, I was the only girl that he had that dynamic with, that when we do anything together, and if I say, don't do that or do this, Buju listen. He never fought it. He was like, yeah, Twiggy says so. You know, that's what I'm going to do. So that was just about it. It just flowed. It just flowed.
To tell you the truth, I know that you have an amazing chemistry and relationship with Buju, but it always, to me, it seemed like your temperament, your personality would more or less mash with like a Wayne or a Beres Hammond. That's what it seemed, opposed to a Buju, that the rough and tough DJ, you know what I mean?
I can be rough and tough, you know.
I believe that. I do believe that.
For the most part, I'm cool and, well collected. It's like I just chill. And I'm always more observant and, whatever, but don't push me. I'm not a pushover.
You can't be in this business as long as you have to be a pushover, because, this business is very treacherous. You understand? A lot of interesting thing happens behind closed doors in this business.
Yes.
So you can't be a pushover, still be around and still sing. It wouldn't work.
Financially, I've been pushed around, but, like physically and stuff, don't play with Twiggy.
Yeah.
She will go cuckoo for Cocoa Puff on you.
I hear you, especially when it comes to your craft.
Yes, and then at the same time, how I was able to deal with all these men, whether they're rough and tough or whatever, I think the rougher they were, the easier it was for me. Because I had this little boyish thing about me. I still do. I'm still very boyish, So, I'd be sitting, even Wayne said to me the other day, I had to laugh. He said to me, Twiggy, my sister, I've never had a bad day with you. And I'm like, no. He's like, you used to nice to everybody. He said, y'all see some little murder around here. I say, hey, how you doing? You okay? He said, y'all see them stand up quiet and not talk. And, oh my God, I'm serious. So you're like, are you okay? You need anything? So I used to always just reach to the heart of the baddest man, and they all became my friends.
Yeah.
It was easy for me, and still easy for me to work with men, even if they're rough and tough. When they're rough and tough, sometimes I just rough them up back. I mean, I'll threaten them. Them said to me, Twiggy, see, you're the only girl can threaten me like So Buju, as I said, Wayne and I, we had a really nice relationship. Wayne hardly talk. So there wasn't much that young Wayne would talk about, because Wayne hardly talk. Buju, on the other hand, no. And then sometimes Buju and I were nice and sweet. And then Buju would just come and just do something to take me off. And then when me start cussing him, he said, Swixy, and me, I do so Swixy. when he hear me, it's a wicked old man. So it was cool. I can flex with anybody, you know.
Right now in 2022, what's your relationship like with Buju right now?
I haven't seen Buju, and I mean, it's a shame. But since he came up, because even when he was inside, you know, he used to always send message to me, you know, about some pictures and stuff that we took together and all of that. And so when he came out, I was not in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And I was planning on, you know, going on there. But then, you know, something came up and I had to stay a bit longer. And then by the time the pandemic came and yada, yada, and whatever. So we haven't even spoken in a while. But I was in Jamaica and I told, you know, some people close to him that I wanted to come see him. And, you know, they said that he was out of town at the time, but he should come in back by a certain time. So, you know, I could probably try at that time and all of that and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I never went because I did not want to just turn up somewhere unsure whether he's there or not. And I heard a little while after that, they mentioned it to him that I was looking for him, and they said he was so excited, like, Twiggy, when me and I sing together. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, yeah, and he's like, oh my goodness, who don't know which part to find her and stuff. He you know, they said he was really, really, really excited, and that warmed my heart, you know, because regardless of everything, you know, I always love Buju like my pesky little brother.
Yeah.
So, you know, that has never changed. You know, just like, oh, you know, I love Wayne and I love Marcy, I love Barris, I love all of them, you know. It's like, that not changed.
Mm-hmm. Who would you say would be your, when it comes to harmonies, did anybody teach you, or do you have a mentor or there's somebody you look up to and say, yo, you know what? I love how they do harmony. I want to connect with them all the time.
Well, as a child, my sister and I, we were naturally singing harmonies, but we didn't even know what we were doing, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, you used to hear all these songs on the radio, and you just sing right through the whole song with them, and it just sounds pretty to you, and you just love doing it. So it was just like a natural, you know, innate kind of thing. But when I got into the industry, and I met, you know, being around Boris and stuff, no, he worked with the best, you know. So that's where I ended up meeting. The first time I met them, I was like, Pamal, J.C. Lodge, Nadine Sutherland, Sharon Forrester, Cynthia Sloss. I mean, all of these people that did the best harmonies. Mm-hmm. So, and I realized that they were the team where everybody called. I was like in awe of all these ladies, like, oh my gosh, man, I actually have a little book where I write it down. You know. Today I met Pamal, and I sang with Pamal and Nadine and the whole works, you know. Mm-hmm. And Nadine and I are good friends now, and it's like, I have to remind myself, say, you used to be like so in awe of Nadine. I'm still in awe of Nadine, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's like, wow, you know. And those were the people now where I got a different experience with harmony. Mm-hmm. And they were always on target, and no one has to tell them what to do, you know? And then we worked with people like Clive Hunt and all these people and stuff where they did a different kind of production and come out to harmony and stuff and all of that. And so for me, I am glad I got the experience with these ladies, because now I am rated as one of the top harmony vocalists out there in reggae music. So, big up to all of these ladies and, Boris and all these people that helped to, to carve out that little niche for me,
Crazy, because that's where a lot of people don't realize what goes into making this song that we all love. What goes into it? How many secret players there are behind it to actually make this song sound the way it does. A person just didn't go in and sing the song and that was it. The harmony people had to come in, the musicians had to come in, the producer. It's those little secret sauce to make these classics.
Well, there's this one harmony song that I was left off. My credit was left off. So since I have this platform, I'll mention it. And it's a massive song. And I don't know whose fault it was, but it wasn't just my name was left off. It was quite a few of us. Even Sharon Forrester and Wayne Armand played guitar and his name was left off it and stuff. But everybody got it cleared up. But for the love of me, I cannot get mine cleared up. It's a massive song. And you know who you are. Please put my name on the credit so I can get my due that everybody else has got. It's a massive song,
Okay, is it a song that you're willing to talk about?
Yeah.
What song is it?
I can see clearly now with Jimmy Cliff.
This is where I take this microphone away and I go about my business. What did you just say to me, Twiggy?
And it was Pamal, Sharon Forrester, myself, and was there JC or Nadine on it? I don't think so. I think it was just Pamal, Sharon Forrester, and myself that did that song. But my name is left off the credit, and I have no idea why.
I'm still trying to process what you just said to me.
When you listen to it,
What?
especially the part that Jimmy says, "Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky." You just listen. You hear my little voice somewhere in the ear. Look straight ahead.
Ross.
Blue sky. Oh, I remember even that note, and we had to hold, full up our lungs and hold our breath for like that long period just to do it, and then we left off for the credit. I'm gonna give it all of my oxygen and excuse me.
So was this a one-off you did with Jimmy Cliff, or this was several songs you did with him also?
I did several songs with Jimmy, but this was one in particular. Another one was I actually had set up the whole session there. I don't know who spoke with Jimmy, but I was the one who, when they approached me, I said to them, I think Jimmy would be good for this project. And at that time, it was Walt Disney wanted to record the song called Hakuna Matata, The Lion King in reggae, and featuring Lebo, their artists at the time. And so, I was the one who set up that whole session and stuff, and made the introductions and all of that. And I sang on several more songs with Jimmy. At one point, Jimmy wanted to take me on tour with him, but then Jimmy said, "You know what? You're going on tour with Toots, and we are always on the same shows, so it would clash. So he's not going to do that to me." So yeah, a lot of songs.
You skipped over something. Walt Disney. How did you even connect with Walt Disney in the first place?
Well, the producer was my good friend. We were really, really close. And he just introduced me to the guy from Walt Disney because he was working, I think, doing soundtracks for Walt Disney. And he just introduced me to the guy, and the guy, I don't know if he was an A&R or what, but he was the one in charge of getting the production done. And he just took to me. He just took a liking to me. And so we became friends. Went out to LA, and we would hang and stuff and all of that. And then when he comes to Jamaica, he would stay at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all work. So that was how that came about. As a matter of fact, because of that friendship and all of that, not Walt Disney, but with the producer himself, I even got a chance to work with Mark Walberg, aka Marky Mark at the time.
What?
Twiggy. Yup.
How did that come? The further we go down this rabbit hole is the more wild it gets. How did you connect with Marky Mark, and what was it you're doing with Marky Mark? Mark Walberg.
Well, I was just flown out to New York. They were supposed to be doing like a European tour or something like that. I was flown out to New York, and to just come and hang with the crew, Marky knew me a little bit before then because we used to see each other, at the same producer's studio in LA and stuff. And Mark Walberg is such a sweet guy. He's so sweet, And he was also concerned if he saw me and I looked sad or something, he'd come and say, "Are you okay? Who is bothering you or something?" He was so sweet, And then, the Mark Walberg, the rapper side, no, he was like so, bad boyish and stuff. And so when I went out there for the for the rehearsals, I was just chilling in Manhattan, And I was sitting there, but how they do their thing is the band members fly in first. They get the music part situated. Then they fly in the background vocalists and the singers. Then after that, they get their part together with the band. Then after that, they fly in the dancers and the engineers and whatever. Them foreign people do them thing different, and they take their things seriously. The rehearsals and stuff, they take serious. So after me being at the rehearsal for days with them, just chilling, Marky had a very popular song at the time. It's just a good vibration. That song. When they were finished rehearsing, because the singers weren't there as yet, the MD said to them, "Oh, just let Twiggy just run them down with us, because she had been here and whatever." And so I just took the mic and I just started singing, and especially when I did that song, Marky like, "No, you have to come on tour with us." You have to come on tour with us. Oh my goodness. And it was like crazy, I didn't end up going.
You didn't end up going on the tour. But again, that's why I tell people in this industry, there's massive highs and then there's devastating lows. You know how many what ifs? Oh, I was supposed to. Oh, wait, this is what I was working, and it did not work out. You know how many of those there are?
Well, for me, I chose not to because it was gonna get probably a little personal and political, So I just left it alone because they already had their singers. And so if I went in on the tour, I would have kicked
You're stepping on somebody's toes.
The lead singer out of the way, and that's not me. I don't want to do that to anybody because I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. So I just left it alone. But when I did that song with him, it's just a good vibration. It's just a sweet sensation. But and the band was like Titan. Oh my God, it was like crazy.
Your journey has been nothing short of amazing, Twiggy. You know what I mean?
When I look back at it, a lot of times I feel like this really big high, and then I feel a little sad sometimes.
Explain that. That's what I really want to know. Give us the yin and the yang.
Because in the industry, yes, I have done a little of everything, and I know. No one has to tell me. I know that I am one of the I'm one of the most talented females out of Jamaica. And anybody want to contest that? Here I am. Yeah. So,
Flexing. I see you.
yeah. And at the same time, whenever I do anything, I don't do mediocre work. Even if it's background vocals. Even if somebody come to me and say, boy, we don't have the money for pay you can't give you, and them even give me half of the money. I still give them like they gave me full money. I work hard. So for me, and I have the works to prove it, you know. I get calls from all over the world. There's some people that I have no idea how these people even know my works and you know, whatever and stuff. And you know, when I look back and I see all the highs, it feels great. But then there is still something holding me back in the industry, and that makes me sad because what and why?
Do you think this hold back is something that's somebody who's actually doing this, or the stars didn't align the way that you think they should have aligned, or a combination of both?
I think the stars aligned. But it's just a fight. It's just a fight. And it to me, you know, I hate to put it this way because it had to take years for me to see it this way. And people point it out to me, you know, because a lot of people see me, and every time they see me, they say, you're getting such a fight, you know. And I always ever used to see that way. Me used to just think, oh, you know, it's just those things. But I realize now that it's just a fight. And, you know, the stars aligned. Trust me. Everything was just flowing. Remember, I never wanted to be an artist, you know.
I remember in our first conversation.
I was dragged into it. But as soon as I came into it, it's like, whoops, whoops, there it is. And I was like all over the place. Everything just went from A to Z. But there was always in the middle of that something to just come and just stop the flow. And, you know, that's the part that marvels me sometimes, you know, because why? And, you know, so you said something when we just started. You said the name for some people might not be like, as they hear it, like, oh, Twiggy, we're from Penthouse. From Penthouse.
Yeah.
You know? And that shouldn't be, because I have
the track record
to show and whatever and stuff, you know, but it is just what it is. So it's just like, you know, like me, when I was a child, I think some of my best time in life was as a child. I had a good childhood. So sometimes when you hear like music on the radio or so that makes you remember when you were in prep school or primary school or high school or whatever, you get so excited and then you feel sad because it's like, it's so different now.
Yeah. You don't see the world the way that you saw it as a child. You now see it as a grown woman now, where it's a lot different than what you really thought it was. Have you ever had a real solid management team around you to focus on you and take you to that level there?
Never. I've had managers that are supposed to be the best, but they never focus on me.
But why is that though? That's the part I don't get, because you've done all this great stuff. You've hung with the best of the best. You've done, so why not? They say, okay, Twiggy, it's your turn right now. Let's go.
That's the part I can never understand, because, you know, I proved myself over and over, still proving myself over and over. And yeah, a lot of people come to me and say they want to manage me, but all they want to come with is some big contract and some 3 years contract and stuff. And then you see a lot of clauses in it that, you know, will not suit you. And then once it's a perpetual, you say, oh, I mean, you want to get
The 3 years is going to turn into a lifetime.
A lifetime.
You know what I mean? Because in perpetuity,
right.
and it doesn't
You see
stop.
perpetual somewhere down the line, you know, in a little small print. Yes, oh, you think the big man a fool. So, and then, one of them I had signed with in New York way after, my Penthouse days and stuff. And he had a lot of big talk, and what he's going to do and stuff. And he had signed me for 3 years. I didn't want to sign for 3 years. So for that 3 years, basically, I was like sitting and nothing happened. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I've never had anybody focus on me.
Has there ever been a point where you fell out of love with the music or fell out of love with the music business?
I wouldn't say I fell out of love, but there have been times when I am so frustrated. Frustrated. You can be frustrated, but you still love it. That's like a relationship.
Yeah.
Your husband frustrates you. It's like you want to lick it with something, but you said, sure, you look say, love you here.
Yeah.
The music that, you just, sometimes you just say, okay. You just exhale and say, I can't bother. Me just can't bother. You just drop it under the ear and say, I'm not even going to record anything or nothing. And then something just comes and just pull you right back in. And it's like, so, but never out of love.
Yeah.
You can't be, you say music is like a heartbeat for me. And it might sound cliche, it might sound like, oh, you just say that. But music for me, even this morning, I was sleeping and hearing myself recording a song in my sleep. And when I wake up, I try to remember some of the lyrics. I say, what's that about, I write lyrics in my sleep. If I have to do a show, I sleep the show. My sleep, I do the show and plan out the show and all that.
You can't turn it off.
No, you can't. And, it's something that even if I don't sing for 2 months, it's like you just wind me up back and it's like, boom.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah, I'm ready, except when it's cool, I'm going to get to it, But music is me. So it's like, if I let go off of music, it's like, you feel like you chop off on your hand or something, So never, ever out of love.
How about with the business of music? Because remember, music and music business are two completely different things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I fell out of love with the business because I never got the chance to even fall in love with the business because when we started out, we never even knew that it was a business and no one told us, So we were just doing what we loved and we were just doing it and realize that there are certain things that we have to put into place and for our future, we always think that, we'll always be on tour, we'll always be singing, we'll always be recording, we'll always have hit songs.
There was no end because I guess the way how you always seen things is I work, I get paid. There was never in your mind where I work and then this work continues to pay me forever without me doing anything again. That concept seemed completely foreign. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
I went on stage, I sang, I made my dollar, I go home. The only time I make another dollar is either go on stage, do some harmony, or make some dubs. You've never seen that this song is supposed to continue to pay me.
Yeah. No, never saw that, and no one taught us that, So we were just going because we loved it. So you never get any time to fall in love with the business because, you get a little quick money and you feel good.
Yeah.
So when you do find out now in the long run that there was so much more to it and so much monies that should have been yours or still can be yours and you have to be fighting for it and all of that, it makes you just, fall out of love. You just hate it.
Yeah.
You just feel like you just want. I don't know how to explain. You're angry,
Of course.
You're angry, and especially if you see where, you're getting older and you still have to be working so hard when you should be sitting and putting up your foot because the money should be coming.
Because you have a catalog, you have a body of work, you've done all of this stuff. So you figure by this time, it should be coming back to me now. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to, if I don't want to work for 2 years straight, I don't want to do no dubs, no shows, no anything, I should still be good.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to just can't put up your foot and just say, yeah, you know, drink a tequila or something.
Yeah.
I've never had a tequila.
Yeah.
You better have a tequila.
You figured that's what, if you're putting up your foot, it's a tequila you're drinking.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll drink some Moscato. I'll drink some Moscato.
That's you.
Yeah.
Before I get you out of here, we talked about your journey and everything, but I know that in the last 2 years, you've still been putting out music, been putting out visuals. You understand? So you're still extremely active in the world right now. Like even one of your last songs was Love Lost. And I mean, it has visuals too. Tell me how you even came up with that one there.
Okay, there is a little young, well, he's not really young. He's been doing his thing, but, you know, he's not known out there to the masses yet. And my cousin had introduced me to him to kind of guide him musically and stuff. So, you know, we never started working together until around 2020.
Okay.
And he, you know, he's a go-getter. I mean, no one can discourage him musically. Even if him do something where everybody said, no, that don't sound good. Him say, I'm going to show them. You know, so I loved his drive. I loved his energy. I loved the fighter that he was, you know, and is. And so, you know, he helped me out with a lot of stuff too, during the pandemic and stuff and whatever, you know, where if I needed help to pick up anything, he would pick them up for me and he would do, you know. And so I said to myself, you know what? How can I repay this young man? And so I say, you know what? I'm going to introduce him to some people in the industry and I'm going to record a song for him to help to push his label out there. And that's how that song came about. You know, I told him I wanted to do something dancehall. I said a long time, do nothing hardcore, you know. So he sent me several redeems and I said, no. Until I heard one and I'm like, yeah, that's on. And he's like, how do you hear anything on that? But in my little head, you know, it's like Toots and them people, we eccentric. So we hear sounds where nobody else would hear it. And I just wrote that song and, you know, we're going to the studio. As a matter of fact, he was out of town when, you know, I went to the studio and I just recorded it and sent it to him.
Okay.
And, you know, we ended up doing the video and stuff together and all of that. And so that's how Love Lost came about.
And what's the reception like since you've now put out a song and visuals to accompany the song also?
A lot of people love it. We still have to be pushing because you know how this music business goes. And this is something that I always wonder, but I'll come right back to it, you know, just stick a pin right there. But the reception has been good. But I say we have to, because it's a independent label. It's not a big name brand label. I have my typical fan base and my media base that anything Twiggy comes with.
The Twiggums.
The Twiggums. They just run and they grab it and they promote it because they want to see. And for the most part, that fan base are not Jamaicans. They're every other culture and nationality. But one and two, the few Jamaicans, me would just hug them up and kiss them up like, oh, thank you. The rest of them are foreigners. So they run with my stuff and all of that. So the reception is good. So we have to be trying to push it to get out there to the Jamaican audience. But, you know, the Jamaican audience, they tend to follow the hype. and the excitement and stuff and whatever.
Whatever the newest, hottest person right now. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean the newest, hottest person right now
Is great.
is going to be, but they're not even going to be the newest, hottest person next week. Because we're on to the next newest, hottest person.
Yep.
So it's that thing where it's nice to be in that wave, but that wave, you could get washed away so quickly.
That wave
in
will just
wave.
spit you out. Yeah, but see, the sea come up and the wave come up on the sand and whatever come out of the water just leave on the sand.
That's what it is. You're hot this week. You have the big song this week, but next week you're not guaranteed that. And that's just how Jamaica and
Jamaicans
the
are.
music works right
Yeah,
there.
Jamaica.
You know what I mean?
And the point I was going to make now, because it's something I always ask, and so I'm going to make it on your program. Okay, in the music business, right, it is 3 different categories, or maybe 4-ish. You have reggae, like the Barry Salmon reggae and stuff and whatever. Then you have culture. Then you have roots rock reggae like Toots and Burning Spear, them and them people. And then you have dancehall, right? Roots rock reggae, culture, and dancehall get a whole heap of, like, those artists will get all the shows, you know, if you know, all the shows, because somebody's always catering to them. But reggae, like lovers rock reggae, soft reggae,
Yeah.
you hardly get anyone catered to us. And you know me dep on 2 sides of the fence, dancehall and lovers rock reggae. But I notice when they're doing the event, unless it's somebody that really loves the softer side of reggae, and that's a rare case, you know.
Okay.
You'll see culture shows. You'll see everybody will sing culture upon shows and tours every single year. In Europe and stuff, you'll see those same people on these tours there, but you never really see them calling the reggae
lovers.
outside that, the lovers reggae. And I'm like, so why is that little genre within the genre there, you know? Because that is what reggae music is.
Love.
Yeah, and it's comprised of that. And it's like, nobody wants to put the reggae artists on their shows. And it's like, for me, that's another thing that frustrates me.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, when you're a woman, oh boy. Why, it rough Bowie, you know? It rough Bowie.
Doesn't matter how good you sing. It's what I find with women in a lot of music industry. It's looks, as in what are you showing first, talent after. You understand? How much skin could you show first, and then talent after that.
And the funny thing is, when I broke into the industry, nobody never really even knew what I looked like. Everybody could only imagine.
Yeah.
They hear the voice and they're picturing this really beautiful girl. And so when they did see me, I was a little cutie at the time,
Of course.
So me still a little cutie at the time, of course.
The time was, of course, we're agreeing.
So, well, I agree with the little cutie now.
Of course. Yes. Good.
Me a hold a gun to your head. Yeah, but so when they did see that, that was like a plus, like, yeah, she cute, but I wasn't showing no skin, maybe a little belly at the time, a little belly skin, but
Yeah.
I wasn't showing no skin. I was always dressed, and just more classy.
Yeah.
So back in our days, women could be more dressed and still get attention. But the thing is, if you notice the songs that get the most attention, especially in Jamaica, were the dancehall songs. If you notice, when most people are introducing, like interviewing me, they always talk about Penthouse, Shocking Vibes. You had to hear them mention Bobby Digital And but it's because those songs were more, and Bobby did a lot of dancehall songs, you know, but in a more reggae
Mature-ish
kind of,
type of,
you know, sure, what you call it, you know?
Yeah.
So the talent, people love the talent also, but nowadays it's more about skin and how much breast you can show, and you
And
know.
who could go further than the last person? If this person showed up to their knees, who could show up to pass that?
Yeah.
You went up here, who could go past that?
Yes.
now?
And they're all and then you go up here, who can go out there naked?
Yeah. Okay. You went out there naked. I'm gonna go out there with 3 people naked. It's just there's always you have to outdo somebody. There's always a different level to it. You understand? And
Yep.
it's interesting, especially when you have that God-given talent. Whereas you said, they don't even need to see me because I have that talent. And you're not getting the highlight, the push, the endorsement, the believe, like how you believe in yourself, other people believe in you too, just for whatever reason. You understand?
And you know the funny thing is, the people that have always been around, they always seem to believe in me, or else they would not have worked with me, because they were all people that don't play with music. But it was always a crew. Back then the whole labels were crews. And then, you know, it's more men than women. So, you know, they automatically just start pushing a particular man or a particular, you know, boy or whatever. And everybody else have to just take back seat. So it's weird, the industry. It's very, very weird, you know?
It's crazy. Another one now, you've been busy in 2020, 2022, is another song that you came up with, When I Think of You, for Penthouse. How do you even say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go back, link with Jermaine, and put together this song here? How did you guys come up with it?
Jermaine and I, we never really lost our link. You know, for a minute, you know, when I was with Shocking Vibes and stuff, I was just focusing on Shocking Vibes. But after everything and stuff, and, you know, Jermaine said, yo, when it pass on the studio and thing, you know. And we always, you know, you pass on, and once you pass on, him always have something for you, you know, like, yo, you know, this is what we're working with now and stuff. So you take it and you say, when one of the rhythms was, and I don't know why I wrote that song. I mean, never did think about nobody. And I don't know, maybe I was in love and I didn't realize I was in love. I don't know, but that was a song that came up just from my vivid imagination, and it's such an awesome song. I wish that song would be highlighted more, you know? It needs to be added, because people, even nowadays when people hearing it for the first time, they're like, wow.
The production value, everything about it.
Everything about it, how I even voice it, is like that chemistry with me and Jermaine. You hear it in the song. 'Cause people always say it, and I won't fight it. They always say your productions with Jermaine just sound different from everybody else. It's just a thing me and the Germs have, you know? It's like, and without even trying, and we don't even know, but when we work together, it just sounds...
It just happens.
It just happens, you
the
know?
magic happens.
Yeah, so that song in particular, I really would revive that. I mean, it's not dead because it just came out last year, but I would really take it in hand and push it, like really push it. It can be a major song.
Of course, for sure. You understand. Twiggy, I know there's still 8 million more stories that you didn't tell me, you know. But we're going to save that for the next time I see you again. Because, again, it's the Jimmy Cliff, that one that caught me off guard. The Mark Walberg, that caught me off guard. So many things you said just catches me off guard. Yeah, you just hear, Oh yeah, I forgot. Yes, Walt Disney. Oh yeah, Netflix. Oh yeah, $100 million. Yeah. You know.
Oh, okay.
It's-
Let me tell you one before you end. Barry Simon, no disturb sign. Twiggy and Pama.
I hope that people really appreciate you for the work you've done, because it's your fingerprint on the pulse of reggae music coming out of Jamaica is nothing short of amazing. You know what I mean?
Thank you. And I hope so too. I hope
Yeah.
they do appreciate it.
Yeah, because in the first interview we talked about the Beanie Man stuff, all of these crazy stuff. Because again, we didn't go down that road because we spoke already. That's why we left this for a totally different conversation. But what you've done, when we get in the book?
You know what? I should get started with it because everybody asking me about that book or a biopic or something, you know. I should get started with something
Even
like that.
if it's something where you get up today and you remember something that you haven't remembered for a long time, just jot it down. Just keep making notes. One day it would make sense when you compile it all together to really see what you've seen, felt through your eyes with your own words. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah. It will be pretty exciting from the start to finish because, yo, Twiggy have a mean little history going on, you know.
Yeah.
Twiggy think no normal.
No, not by no stretch of the imagination. You understand? They want to check you out for dub plates. Hold on, before I ask, you brought up something earlier, a commercial that you and Nadine Sutherland had done.
Right.
Tell me about that commercial there. That's still on to this day, you said.
You know, when we were with like Bart Garden and the crew, you know, we used to do all the, what would you say now, the corporate jingles and stuff, you know. So we did stuff like Victoria Mutual, and stuff like that, and NCB, and you know, all those ads and stuff, all them stuff. But there is one in particular that we did for Island Dairies. And that one is the one that plays in Jamaica up to this day. From north to south, east to west. Island Dairies is Jamaica's best. You know, that one still plays up to this day. And I even did the bigger soft drinks Inception. I was there like an ambassador for a while at the beginning, you know. And so I did the audio and the visual. General B and myself, that massive bigger soft drink commercial.
Yes.
That people see on TV. Hey, big girl, you pick me up every day. Yeah. So yeah, I've been there, been around the world, and I.
Wow. Amazing. You want to check you out on social media, dub, shows, link, whatever. Leave some contacts right now if anybody you want to big up. Anything else you want to say? The floor is yours 100% before I get you out of here for just this time.
Okay, so for social media, my YouTube channel is Twiggy Music. My website is twiggymusic.free.fr. I have a French webmaster. And Facebook, one of them is Twiggy Music, Twiggy. So Twiggy Music, Twiggy as in TWIGGI, MUSIC, and then TWIGGI. Then the other one is just TWIGGI. So always remember, Twiggy with an I. Some of my songs you will see with a Y because I had eventually changed the name when I found out that there was an artist/actress/model in London with the name spelt the same way. So for it to avoid copyright infringement issues, I changed it to TWIGGI with an I. Also for Instagram, Twiggy Music, Twitter, Twiggy Bird, and If you know what, if you can't remember all of that, just Google Twiggy Music, TWIGGIMUSIC, and everything will come up. Twiggy, okay? And for dub plates and double works and stuff, you can all find me on my social media. And if you're all serious, then you might just be able to get a contact and stuff, and we can talk, on a more private and more personal level and stuff. But big up to you first and foremost for the link up again.
Thank you.
And I should say big up to the Most High God. And sound like me dad at Grammys. Big up to Father God, because he made this possible and thing. And, and big up to everybody that has always stood in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that always supports Twiggy, no matter what. Even when it don't sound or look like Twiggy's doing anything, you guys are always here. Thank you so much. And don't stop support. Go check out Love Lost, my new music and video. It's on all platforms. Go check out When I Think About You, Penthouse Records. Trust me, when I hear them bad. My God will never let us down. Never let us down. Just check out everything. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be letting you guys hear another one called Like the First Time.
Okay.
Like the First Time even blow my own mind. The lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it. I'm like, yo, you can write. So I have so much more stuff in the making and whatever, and always trying to stay positive, always trying to create. And for all the young people out there that wants to become a part of the music industry and, think that it's all about just running out there fast, tell you what, hone your craft first. Just stay focused and come out there with your talent, not with your body or anything like that. Come out there with your talent, and when the gate open, things will just fly, and even so, stay focused and positive. Twiggy says so.
Well, because she said it, now she gets her outro. I couldn't say anything more, because how she just packaged it, she said it for you so well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, The Pull Up, and we are out. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.